All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the April 29th school committee meeting. Going to take attendance. I am here. Ms. Canistrari? Here. Mr. Conroy?
Here.
Ms. Gibbons?
Here.
And Mr. Powers?
Here.
And Superintendent Mullaney?
Yep.
All right, and Mr. Wiggin is not here with us today. This meeting is being recorded and can be viewed on Mondays at 7 p.m. on Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 37. All meeting videos are also posted on the Millis Public Schools website under School Committee and also available on YouTube. All school committee meeting minutes and agendas can be found on the school committee page on the Millis Public Schools website. Persons wishing to speak during open session must sign in before the meeting starts. Comments are not to exceed 3 minutes in time. Individuals may not name students, staff, or parents. All topics for discussion must be limited to those items listed on this evening's agenda, and all comments must be directed to the chair. The committee may or may not respond to public comments. It shall be their discretion to discuss this issue at a later date, and all times are approximate. Is anyone signed in for open session?
No.
We can then move along to our student representative. Hello, Henry. Oh, Nicholas, sorry.
You're getting taller.
I know, very tall.
A different person.
And you're graduating.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I know. Sorry.
You're setting records.
Hello everyone, I'm Nicholas and I'm the student rep. And today I'm going to be giving you guys a brief overview of things that are going on in the Millis High School. So we just got back from the April break yesterday, so we're really getting back into things, getting ready for tests and sporting events and everything like that. The week before break, we had a wonderful night of the arts where we started with a pre-K to 12 art show where students demonstrated their art skills with different art styles, projects, everything like that. It was really great to see. Next, right after, we had the solo ensemble band and chorus concert where there was a demonstration of an array of different songs performed by groups or like people alone, and it presented really great different like styles of music. It was a really good night. The same week, the juniors and seniors took part in a Credit for Life fair, which was an excellent hands-on experience allowing students to follow different jobs. And basically they could see like different money-related scenarios, and it was made with the help of 17 local businesses. And a good thing about it was that students could become more budget conscious by learning like in the thing. It was great. Then AP exams are coming up soon. So Monday, May 5th through Friday, May 16th are when they're going to happen. And they're going to happen either in the Millis Public Library or the Millis High School Library. May 16th is going to be the last day of senior classes, and there's going to be some fun activities to celebrate the last day of their school. And there's going to be a half day with a 10:55 a.m. dismissal. And then the day will end with the seniors walking through the CFB, Millis High School, and Millis Middle School hallways, which is always great to see. The same day will be the prom, which will be 6 to 9 p.m. at Grandview in Mendon. And another thing that's coming up is senior project presentations, which will be held in the Roach Brothers Community Room in the Millis Public Library, and will go through Monday, May 19th through Friday, May 23rd. For sports, varsity volleyball is playing away at Medfield today, and that started at 6 p.m. And also, the first power rankings of the spring season came out, where our softball, girls tennis, baseball, and boys volleyball teams are currently ranked high enough to qualify for the state tournament at this point. So let's keep up the great work.
Yeah.
Thank you. Does everyone have any questions?
And are you doing tennis as well?
I am.
How
yeah.
are you guys doing?
We're getting better each year, so
That's
it's
what-
it's
that's the
good.
goal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Nicholas. All right, Ms. Copies, you are up next.
All right,
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So I've got updates from across the district. So coming from the Clyde Brown, the Spanish immersion is bidding a fond farewell to Senorita Alba Garcia as she finishes up her time with everyone. She was presented a Millis blanket by Mrs. Django on behalf of the school and the immersion classes, and the families prepared some special remembrances for her to take with her back to Spain. So I know it's always kind of sad when we lose our assistants. The kids really connect. Prior to April break, the Clyde Brown held an all-school assembly. The character trait for April was cooperation. Every classroom at the Clyde Brown participated in creating a piece of a school-wide puzzle showing how they all work together to accomplish our goals, which I love sort of the analogy there of the puzzle and cooperation. On Wednesday, April 16th, so again prior to vacation, members of the Environmental Action Club from the high school came over and presented lessons to grades 3 and 5. So as always, the Clyde Brown students love collaborating with the high school students, and we love the opportunity to just walk across the driveway. Like, so happy about that always. And then during vacation week, some students participated in a spring math academy at the Clyde Brown in grades 3, 4, and 5, and fun was had by all of the students and staff involved. And I will also add in, just as a preview of another announcement, that our grade 5 dance class, which is the project of Bella Michaud Huang, that is wrapping up. They have their final class tomorrow evening. So that's been fun for her and for the students as well. At the middle school, the 6th grade enjoyed a class trip to the McAuliffe Center to see the planetarium show and participate in the Mission to Mars simulation. 6th graders have finished a unit of study about body positivity with a culminating project of their choice. So projects have included things such as self-portraits, letters to the future selves, comic strips showing perseverance and resilience, and posters showing some positive messaging. The 7th grade has enjoyed a field trip to Patriots Place to visit the Hall of Fame and learn about the science and history behind the football helmet. And after learning about the football helmets, the students got a chance to work collaboratively to design a helmet that would not crack under the pressure of a 1-pound ball. So I bet that was kind of fun to do. And in 7th grade, the Spanish students are continuing to learn about places that they go with their free time. So they're practicing asking and answering questions about their daily activities and plans for the near future. Up at the high school, tomorrow we have our senior showcase, which has been organized by senior Liam Gregg this year. Is Liam a senior? Once they're done being sophomores, I get them all blurry. I'm not going to lie to you. So basically, we've got a whole bunch of different things going on. So there'll be presentations in the auditorium. There'll be a poster session happening in the cafeteria. And then multiple different students are running sessions in a variety of locations around the building. So the grade 9 students, grade 10, and grade 11 students will kind of go from sessions to sessions to sessions. I know at one point I'll be outside Bob's office supervising Bella teaching a dance lesson. I know that there are other students running money management workshops. Daniel Sparks has something about pushing through government. So it should be really, it's a nice way for the students to kind of get exposure to what's happening with all of the senior projects. So that'll be delightful. Our STEAM scholars have been finishing up their presentations to the upcoming STEAM students who are coming up. So we've heard from, at this point, Andrew Fiala. We have heard from Isa Briones, which you guys heard from as well. And who else did we talk to? There's 6 of them. Sorry, my memory's not what it's supposed to be tonight. We've heard from 3. We'll hear from 3 more next week, so I'm very excited about that. We have some really nice projects this year that have kind of spanned the gauntlet. So Andrew's project was to develop a working water wheel that you could take with you on a camping trip to charge your cell phone. Now, it doesn't work yet. However, what he did come to say to me after the fact, and he's actually headed to RIT for engineering in the future, he did come to me, he said, I didn't really realize how complicated the engineering process was. And he's like, the fun of the journey has been figuring out what doesn't work and figuring it out. So he had to learn electricity, he had to learn how to do some metal working, he 3D printed the spin wheel. It's just been, so that's been kind of a really a fun project to kind of look at. Also coming up next week on Friday is the Terpsichore's Spring Dance Recital and Banquet. So we've got our students in grades 5 through 12. We'll be graduating seniors Annie Rolag, Caitlin Richards, and Isabella Michaud Huang next year. And Annie and Caitlin have been dancing with me since they were in 4th grade. So it's always a little bit sad to see them go, but it's going to be a fun show. So if you don't have anything to do from 6:30 to 7:30 on Friday night, because it's spring and there's nothing going on, of course, feel free to pop in. We've got some great music selections to go with. There are a couple of field trips happening this week. On Friday, Mr. Carter is taking newspaper to BU for the newspaper conference, and Mrs. Streck has got an oceanography field trip where they're actually like gathering their samples that they're going to be testing in the classroom and making all of that work. Nicholas got most of the sports news, but this does come from the sports desk, but also from other folks here. So Mr. Finney would like to say congratulations to Mr. Mark Conroy as he finishes up his years of service to Millis Public Schools. Thank you for all your hard work and support of our students and staff, as well as Millis Athletics. All the best. So that hails from the land of Mr. Finney. Any questions for me?
No?
All right. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
All right, we're going to move into our action items. We are going to need to approve our minutes from last meeting. Ms. Castrari.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the April 8th meeting minutes.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are considering adopting a zero emission first vehicle policy by the town of Millis. Would you gentlemen like to come up and chat about it? Welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome.
Craig Gibbons, Chair of the Energy Committee, also familiar with one of your team members here. I'm joined by Bob Weiss, who you all probably already know from the town, but we work together in partnership on the Energy Committee. And one of the things that, based on our partnership with the Department of Energy Resources, is an opportunity we've undertaken or leveraged over the last several years to be part of a green community effort. And as part of that green community effort that started about a decade ago, we've been able to benefit from about $1 million worth of project supports for eligible projects. And through that work, we've continued to kind of reshape the energy efficiency of the town and try to find ways to be more energy efficient, reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, things of that nature. The program we're in, the Green Community, is actually going into its, you could call it its version 2.0, and it's being called Climate Leaders. That'll be the new program name. Part of that, there'll be some new requirements that come along with it. One such thing is this zero emission or electric vehicle first policy. We enacted or adopted this both with the town and the school committee about 10 years ago as well. It was more of a fuel efficient first. Now it's really leaning more towards electric first. So this is the newest version of the policy that we need to adopt to remain in good standing with the green community. But moreover, we think it's the right thing for our community. We think it's healthy for our environment, and we think it's good today, tomorrow, and into the future as we move towards what we had adopted about a year ago, which is a zero or a net zero effort for the town to become carbon neutral by 2050. So all this plays together. This is one step in our efforts to try to move those initiatives forward. Did you all receive a copy of the policy? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. There's a lot in here, but I'll just very briefly explain the key or the most poignant parts. There are a couple of appendices. One is just to talk through some of the verbiage around different vehicle types and things you need to consider when you're adopting a vehicle policy like this. There's also a sample table of what we would keep as an inventory of the different vehicles that are part of the community, both the town and the schools. I should also note, we brought this to the select board a couple weeks ago on the 15th, or is that just a week ago? But a couple weeks ago on the 15th, they approved it. So we do need to get both the town approval or the select board approval and the school committee approval to fully adopt. But the overall arch of this is to really create a speed bump, pun intended. It seems to think about when we go to purchase a vehicle, procure a vehicle, are there more energy efficient, or what is the most energy efficient option we have available to us? It's pragmatic in that if it's very if it's not effective in terms of cost or has other limitations to making those choices, that's okay. It's really just to stop, think about it, figure out if there is an electric vehicle, kind of a pure electric vehicle. If there isn't, is there a hybrid vehicle, that kind of plug-in electric, other fuel sources, alternate fuel, and inevitably fall down through to more of the traditional vehicles we're used to, the fossil fuel vehicles. And even as you move to that option, if that's what's necessary, there is a requirement to be a fuel efficient gas vehicle, should that be the choice. So it's really to stop, think about what you need, go through that process of thinking of the most efficient vehicle available, partnering with others where appropriate. If something is less cost effective but it's more efficient, what grants can we get? What other things can we do to offset that? But to keep Millis moving forward towards a more green and energy efficient community. There are a few things that are listed in here too about replacement vehicles. So if you do replace a vehicle, the vehicle that's being replaced, typically if it's a lower efficiency vehicle, wouldn't be reused in the fleet. There's some policy outlines around that. And then also, if there's any major pointed items, there's some requirements on our part to just keep an inventory of our vehicles and just what the output of those vehicles are. We maintain a inventory of the town's facilities, vehicles, et cetera, to just track our greenhouse gas emissions, and so that would be part of what we would need to do as part of this as well. Bob, any key points that I've omitted that you want to bring to light?
Well, I think you pretty much covered it all. The only, what I would like to mention is, and it says here several times, this is not a mandate to buy an electric vehicle. It is merely to look first at what is practical, and I think it mentions about 3 or 4 times in the policy that it's what is most practical. The other thing I'd like to say is the schools are well ahead of this policy already. They're having worked with Terry Wiggin and with Zandy Labarge. I know Terry is trying to find electric school buses. It's, you see it all over the place. Well, we can get electric school buses, but they're just about impossible to find. But I know the schools are already well ahead of the policy.
Great. Do you guys have any questions? I have some questions. So I was wondering, you had mentioned that like you could help get grants to help fund. So when we're looking for new equipment, or new vehicles, we should come to you to see what you can do to help us. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's not what the policy is about, but yes.
No, I know. This is totally separate.
Yes.
Just what you had said about
the state
grant
has
funding.
a couple of programs that will help municipalities find vehicles, find charging stations. So yeah, by all means, if there's help, if you need help, give me a call.
Yeah, through the Department of Energy Resources and other partnerships that support the work of the green communities, there are often things surfacing that we could share with you if it's appropriate as you're looking. Yep.
And are there more plans to build more electric plug-in spots in town? Like, is that on the?
Yeah. So in terms of, well, go ahead with what you're.
We are working with a vendor who wants to put in at least 2 more charging stations. It's a question of where and what kind of charge. There's 4 different kinds of charging stations, so we have to look pretty carefully at what we want, because if we put in what's called a level 2, I think you have a level 4 here, level 3 over at the Clyde Brown. So I can charge up the car pretty fast, but it still takes a few hours. We can get the level 2 chargers for free. And the installation will be for free, but that takes 6 or 7 hours for a full charge. So it's something that somebody would use a parking spot up for maybe an hour just to get like a 10% charge. So yes, we are looking at chargers over town. I also find that it's a very big marketing item for a number of private businesses. So.
Yeah, so it would be something that, obviously, if we had more electric vehicles, we'd need more supply.
Yeah.
And so there are varying, as Bob said, there are different types. There are also different models for how you can procure those and offset costs of doing that sort of thing. And from time to time, there are also grants that if we wanted to purchase them outright for the municipality, we could do that. But we are aware that there's at least some private efforts to try to get some more charging stations as well. But for the municipality, we'd probably look at various avenues based on what's being purchased.
Maybe put some with the new building passes here at the high school.
And we did get an earmark a couple of years ago for a flex van from Representative Vaughn helped us out with that. So our last 2 van purchases were hybrids. So
Because they couldn't find any electric ones, I thought, right? They're just,
that's
like,
part of it.
not-
And as Bob mentioned, like sometimes cost
Yeah.
and finding them is
Yeah.
a challenge.
Our hope is that, so we don't know what's going to be about in 5 years, 10 years, and our goal is to get carbon neutral in the next 25. So we're hoping that the technology will advance, the cost will adjust, it'll become more accessible. So this is just an effort to kind of build our mental practices around, let's look, let's see what's there and be current.
Right, one of the problems we have is the technology changes so quickly that you start a process to purchase a vehicle or any other kind of energy efficient product, and by the time you get through the process, it's outdated already.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Do we?
Take a
Yes,
vote?
we need to take a vote. Or that's what they would like, yeah? That's what you guys need from us?
Ideally, we can get approval, that'd be great.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Conroy.
I make a motion that we approve the zero emissions first vehicle policy as presented.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming and
Appreciate
doing
your
this
time.
for the town.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much. All right, we're going to move into our time and learning. Ms. Knowlton, do you want Ms. Knowlton to come up and talk to
well,
us?
I have,
Or would you?
Ms. Knowlton is here, and Ms. Django and Ms. Malloy from Clyde Brown. If the committee has questions, I had shared a memo that's in the packet with some of the concerns I had regarding a blanket policy. I think part of the impetus for the proposal was some of the stuff that was involved in the Wit and Wisdom, the elementary literacy program. We do have an elementary Wit and Wisdom implementation team, and I think some of the issues that were raised that kind of led to this policy might be handled in that venue rather than a blanket policy. So I don't know if folks have questions for me or for Ms. Knowlton, Ms. Django.
Mr. Conroy.
I guess if we could just kind of outline what steps or what we're thinking is going to be the plan moving forward, just in terms of helping parents be aware of what's being presented in classes. If it's, I'm all for something being done outside of a policy as a protocol, as an approach. If it's kind of in line with what the intent of the policy was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is exactly kind of the plan or what?
Right. So I think at the level of the elementary with the literacy program, there are with Wit and Wisdom, there are parent tips that go home with each module, and those parent tip sheets, I read one of them last meeting, but they talk about what's being read, some questions that the class are going to be asking, questions that parents can ask at home, and things like that. And we've also talked about having, we know the books that are in the curriculum. So when we have, for example, the curriculum night at Clyde Brown at the beginning of the year, the grade level teachers could talk about the different books that they're going to be reading, and talk about, if some of those books have content that might be mature or above grade level or something like that, and also provide the parents with resources like Common Sense Media, where if a parent wanted to find out a little bit more about the book. Of course, parent could always talk to the teacher as well. But in that way, parents kind of know what's in front of them.
No, so I was just going to summarize. You were saying that their teachers are going to give like a syllabus or something about at the curriculum night, or let parents know at the curriculum
Well, yeah,
night,
I
and
think it
then
would be-
send out the wit and wisdom thing that you showed us
The
last
tip
time.
sheet, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's, and they do that, and they also have their weekly newsletters and things.
Madam Chair?
Yeah.
I think, Mr. Mulaney and I had a discussion where he went onto the Wit and Wisdom site, and certain information is provided by Wit and Wisdom that then can be handed out to the tips for families. And I think the supportive step from there is what Mr. Mulaney said at curriculum night, being able to talk more about it. That's where the kind of the parent education of the books and stuff like that can point them. I agree, Common Sense Media is a great resource for something like that. So I use it myself.
Okay. So, anyone else have anything on the topic of our proposed policy? No? So are we saying that we want to rescind our policy?
You just don't have to, we just don't have to.
We just don't have to read it?
Don't have
We
to
don't
do a
have to
third
vote,
reading.
we can just
Okay.
table it.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to do
Mhm.
anything.
Okay.
Just
Fantastic.
not read it and not vote.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay, then we're going to move on to the MSBA update, the chair report. So we actually have a meeting tomorrow. It's more of a listening meeting, I'm told. They're going to go through our proposed information slides that the TAPE and Vertex have prepared for them.
And
Right.
right, and they're going to be taking a vote on, on the preferred design that we've put forward. The MSBA board will be voting on that, and it's our hope and our expectation that they will vote in the affirmative, and we will
Mhm.
continue the process.
Mhm. And then we met like before vacation to talk about some of the other fun stuff happening, picking out things and talking about rooms and moving rooms and
It's
all the more
we're
exciting
starting to
things.
drill down, and it's
Yeah.
much more exciting than talking about soft costs and.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna come back around.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's starting to get more detailed, starting you can
This
see
is
it.
a much better
Um,
phase.
And so, we have, of course, the community
The forum,
forum
yep.
on Thursday evening. So we encourage people to come to that and.
In the
and
auditorium.
Bring some friends,
Yeah.
auditorium
At
at 7
7.
o'clock. It will be live streamed on
The interwebs.
the YouTube. Dave, right? Dave's gonna be here live streaming for us.
Thank you,
And then I
Dave.
think we'll also have a cable crew here to helping you out, and so we'll be able to have that content on the cable channel.
Multiple YouTubes.
So, and it is, for me, it is starting to get to the exciting part.
Mm-hmm. The vote's the exciting part for you?
No,
Oh, okay. Just checking.
what the rooms look
Yeah,
like
yeah,
and the
yeah.
configuration.
Yeah. Yes,
all those
yes.
things.
It's really interesting.
Of course, as a former history teacher, yes, voting excites me.
All right, superintendent's report.
Okay. Let's see. I don't have anything tonight for the superintendent report.
All
We
right.
do have some correspondence
Oh.
from, and it's a late breaker. It's kind of new business.
Okay.
But we have in the packet, there's a request by Millis Baseball.
Oh, Babe
Millis
Ruth.
Youth Baseball, yeah, the Babe Ruth team to utilize the field and
The
the
baseball?
varsity baseball field. And so there's a request by League President Mike Carter, who's also
Mm-hmm.
the librarian for Mill High School,
Mm-hmm.
requesting a waiver. And there's also in the packet when we revised the fees back in March of 2023 for the baseball field, we did have a special exemption that's noted on the fee schedule that baseball field rental, with the exception of Millis Youth Baseball, softball, special arrangements have been made with Millis Youth Baseball, softball for maintenance of the grounds in lieu of a user fee. So when they use the field, they help maintain it. And and we are finally getting to whether where it's actually nice to play baseball and softball. So.
It doesn't say like when they're going to be using it. Just like for the season, it's just like
Yeah, it's right. It's not. They hope to use it on Sundays, I believe. Saturdays or Sundays, I forget. The baseball team practices.
I think it's Saturday.
Yeah. The baseball team practices on Sunday, so the field would be available on Saturday.
Okay. It looks like he's spoken to everyone that he needs
Yeah.
to make sure, but I wasn't sure like what the duration was or when they were doing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long the Babe Ruth season lasts.
Oh, it's for the Babe Ruth season. Got it.
Yeah, I don't think it goes too deep into the summer.
You're right.
So since it says on this, I'm just for clarity here, the rental fees for facilities document that you sent out, it
Yep.
says under the baseball field
Yep.
that the rental fee, but with the exemption for the Millis Youth Baseball. So do they even need to ask us for a waiver if it's in the thing already that they?
I suppose they don't. I mean, it is.
Yeah, it says that they, yeah, I would say that they don't
Yeah.
have to, because
Right.
it's already
In
been
the
done.
future,
It's
yeah.
part of the policy.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
So we
I
could just
think-
relay that to Mike.
Yeah,
that
we can let them know, and as you mentioned, they reached out to all.
all part, as long as they're all in communication.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So we don't have to do anything
Yeah.
because it's already in there. We don't even need to vote.
So yeah, I
Other-
think that's all I had.
Other new business?
Oh,
about that?
just an update on the discussion with the MIA about winter track, which is kind of still ongoing. But basically, there are they've identified 4 potential options. One option was create a middle school league, which realistically isn't an option because there's not enough indoor track space. There's been discussion of how a sub-varsity waiver would work, obtaining a varsity waiver, or no participation at all, with numbers and things like that. So those are the things that are being discussed.
Okay. So our policy that we put in the handbook has to be,
Right, that'll be
That's only-
updated one way or another. That was only good until the end of that season.
okay. On our last new business, we have here this for Mr. Conroy.
He has no idea what it is.
Yeah. It's very heavy.
a
That
lot of
means it's
cameras around here.
expensive. That's our last
You could take
meeting.
it to the chin or something.
It is pretty appropriate.
Wow, look at that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Oh, very nice. And so we're gonna put it in the ground over here, and then we're gonna destroy the ground when we build the new school.
We'll save the bricks.
Will you hold
We
it up?
will
Yeah,
save
hold it up, hold
the
it up.
bricks.
Let me take a picture. Let's
Yep.
see. Oh, that's very nice.
And it was very satisfying when we got the brick that it had a C and not a K.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Put it back in. Oh, you gotta hold it from the bottom.
Or hold it until
Yeah.
Yeah, what's gonna happen with the bricks in the ground over here? Are they gonna dig them all up and keep them? Okay.
Yeah, we
Yes,
definitely. I
make
mean,
sure you mark them we made this mistake with Clyde Brown. Make sure you mark them so that they do keep them.
Okay.
So like you have to
So
be
we don't have
very
to-
specific about it, because the playground from the old Clyde Brown had a great like donor sign, and somehow it didn't get tagged, so it didn't get saved, so we had to put another donor sign. So just make sure,
okay.
it'll be
Okay,
something
that's
that
good
comes
to
up.
know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good to
You're
know.
not going to know all the names on those bricks.
No. Yeah, so
Yeah.
any brick that has a name on it, they need to keep.
Yep, yep, yeah. Good to know.
They will do a walk around the whole property. But just be aware, just keep the bricks.
Yeah, and honestly, like, the front isn't gonna change that much under
Okay.
the
Oh, yeah,
design.
okay. But just in case,
Yep, yep.
keep them all.
And thank you, Mr. Conroy, for your years of service.
Thank you.
Millis Public Schools.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it, yeah, 15 years here. Definitely could not have done it without collaboration from the numerous school committee members who have done it, who've been on the committee, past and present, as well as the administration and staff, teachers. We had a negotiation session last night, and I was able to thank them, the union as a whole, but all the teachers for the collaboration that they show with the school committee and have, because it's not common everywhere. So that's important. And also various boards and committees and the members that have served on that, especially the select board and finance committee. You know, it's not always easy, but I can honestly say I have not worked with anybody who I didn't think was coming at it from a perspective of they were trying to do what was best for the town. Whether you agree with the approach or not, everybody was trying to get to the same place. So,
Cool.
good
Well,
times
thank
were
you.
fun, bad times, we got through them.
The brick's the reminder of that.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you say? Six
6.
contract negotiations, an air quality issue where you had to work with the Department of Public Health, over from the Clyde Brown, of course, the years of COVID. A couple of fun things just related to policy and procedure, maybe around names of things. A building, a lawsuit around the building, another building, and I don't know, 15 rounds of expertise in finance that we all got to benefit from as a committee and as a district and as a town. You've been a mentor, a friend, an expert, and the voice of reason, and thank you for 15 years of incredible work for the district, and we are absolutely a better place because you've been here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mark, for your service. Your knowledge, all that history is going away, but you're just a little
You still
away,
have his phone
so
number. You still
I'm
have his phone
gonna,
number.
I'm gonna feel like, don't leave us
Not that far. No.
until you retire to the Cape.
Then I'll still be able to be a
The
tech.
cell phone
know.
texting
Right.
still works down the game.
We'll take one of our electric buses down.
Yep, that's right, that's
Put a
right.
charging station near your house.
And nobody's phone number is ever going to change anymore.
Right. That's true, that's true. Well, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Or school committee retirement, I guess.
Yeah. I got a long way before
Sorry.
real retirement. Yeah.
All right, I think that's the last thing on our agenda, so we are going to adjourn to executive session
Madam Chair.
for, yes, Mr. Conroy, your last motion.
It is.
Wow.
Wow. Make a motion to adjourn to executive session, not to return to open session for the purposes of discussing strategy with respect to collective bargaining with Unit A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call. Ms. Gibbons.
Aye.
Mr. Conroy.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Ms. Canistari.
Aye.
Mr. Powers.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned until When's the next one? 2 weeks from now?
13th?
2 weeks from now.
Don't
Are
ask
you gonna
Mark.
come and sit and listen?
Don't ask Mark, he doesn't know.
Wow.
All right. Thank
Go
you
to
so
town
much.
meeting, but not.
May 13th.